system in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same 1%? Trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How the fuck are you guys doing today on this Tuesday, February 16th of the horrible year that has been 2021? Whew, almost to hump day, almost to the end of the week here. We're 2 days in. I hope you guys are enjoying your week so far. I know I am. And we're just going to continue to roll through and roll on and have some little bit of fun. Because tonight, we're going back to music. Been kind of going back and forth between mental health authors and survivors and music over the last couple weeks. And tonight, we're back to music. However, it's going to have a little bit of a spin to it as far as mental health goes because of the EP that was released by this band back in November by the name of Mental Scars. So, do you see the connection there? But let's just get right into it because these guys are awesome. The EP is fantastic. Link down in the bio of the description of this video and of the podcast. So definitely take a look at that. But without any further ado, please welcome Rob and Tom from the band Card Reader.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, guys?
Thanks for having us, Derek.
How you guys doing?
Good.
How you guys faring up there in New York with all this fucking crazy ass weather?
Pretty good. We're supposed to get more in a couple days.
Me
so,
too.
Yeah, we're enjoying the warm. I guess warm. 45 degrees is warm. I guess.
Yeah, it was in the
that we had today.
Yeah, it was in the 40s today for here too. I'm down in DC, so I'm not too far from you, but
yeah.
I mean, this has been one of the wildest winters I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it. Just stay safe. I feel bad
definitely.
for Texas though.
Yeah, my brother's in Texas right now. He's feeling it. He's like on lockdown, basically, trapped in his house.
They get a couple inches of snow. Everything's locked down. Hey, I get it. I used to live in Florida, and if one little flurry hit the ground and melted, everyone freaked the fuck out. So I'm right there with you on that one. But it's been a crazy year. So how's things been going since you guys released the EP back in November? How's it been streaming for you? How's it been, what's the reception been like?
It's been really good. I mean, as far as what we're setting out to do, and I feel like we took a good step as a band when we released the EP, and we're kind of it was the second half of our releases that year, 2020. So we put out 3 singles, and then we released a 3-song EP. So you can look at it a couple different ways where those singles kind of meshed their way into where that EP took it. But I think like you said before, we kind of honed in on the direction of the message, which was mental scars and mental health and musicians, or something that we try to bring up in our music and try to make a theme of our band.
Which is exactly what I do on this show, and which is one of the main reasons why I wanted you guys on the show, because it's an important topic. It really is, and it doesn't get talked about. I mean, it's starting to be talked about a lot more in music, but it's still not as much as I would like to see it. Over the past few years, and I've mentioned this on the show before, but we've had a few bands come out and really kind of hit it hard. About 10 years ago now, the band Nothing More came out with their first album with had that song Jenny on it, which was about his sister. Then Bad Flower out of California came out with Ghost in 2018, and 2019. Falling in Reverse released Popular Monster. But other than that, I mean, those are like the most prolific songs that I can think of off the top of my head that are mental health related, at least in the rock world. And that's about it. But I mean, we have people talking about it, but they're not out there advocating for it. They're not singing about it. They're not pushing as hard for it, which is kind of, kind of a deterrent for me. But at the same time, I'm glad at least some people are out there, like your guys yourselves, that are out there just really hitting it hard.
Yeah, I think when you're a band, you're writing music, and you want, most bands are writing music about, girls and love songs, and which is great. But I think even talking about mental health is a positive step and something that's worth doing if you're not doing anything else. Just having the conversation, having the theme, or having the concept up and talking about it, and not just having it in the song, but speaking to people about it and seeing what they think about. Because I've always been curious about the lifestyle of underground musicians and things that happen throughout the course and the struggles or whatever it may be. There's a lot of mental health issues with musicians, I believe, over my time getting to know artists over the years. And I just think it's an important conversation to have, and to check people in the music world that are, whether it's your friend or your family member, see it, just checking on them, seeing how they're doing. And because it's never easy to invest a lot into what you're passionate about, and sometimes it has a cost. So I think I've, personally had experience with it. I know I've had friends, and I've lost a few friends. Well, I've lost at least one friend, and it's something that you don't want to take lightly. And if we can continue to put a message about it, or at least spreading awareness in our music, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask, what's your motivation behind your mental health message, and you just answered it. So, thanks for getting to it before I asked. But you're not wrong as far as not even underground music, but like, in front of our face music too. I mean, look what happened in 2017. It's been 3.5 years now since we lost, I completely lost my train of thought. Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. 6 months apart from each other, the exact same way. They both hung themselves, and that was really, really in our face. I wasn't the biggest Linkin Park fan, still not, but I was a huge Chris Cornell and Soundgarden and Audioslave fan, and that one hurt. But aside from that, there's drug problems, and that's all, by mental health. And there's so much stuff that comes along with it. And it's so difficult, to especially have to listen to, because, the people that are high profile are out there all the time talking about it, and you don't see the progression of getting help, especially with Chester. It seemed like he got worse over the years. And I don't know the personal story there, but at the same time, I didn't see him get any better. I just saw it get worse. So I don't know what happened there or why, but that's just how it was. Chris Cornell hit it really, really well. I mean, we all know about his past drug addiction problems, but just like that, it was gone. And, it's music has a way of either hiding who you are or telling us everyone who you are. And sometimes people are really good at the hiding part, and that's one of the biggest issues that I've seen too.
I can agree with that. And it's important to go and like you just have conversations, right? Like just go and talk and we're a band trying to get our name known and trying to get exposure. But this is I think it's our 4th podcast now. So just since we started, we've kind of just been trying to have conversations, not about specifically mental health, but who we are as people, what we're doing. We're not trying to sit behind some facade of like what a band should be. We're just, a couple dudes that are passionate about what we're doing, and we love it. And, it's just an important part of the process, just to be as genuine as possible about what you're doing. I think it always ends up with positive results.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just said the whole idea of what I do as well. I mean, this might be your 4th podcast, and I'm all about helping promote you guys as far as the music goes. But at the same time, I mean, you guys are a newer band. You guys released 3 singles and an EP last year. Great. your music might be great, but who the fuck are you as people? That's what I care about. I like to hear the story. I want to be the megaphone for the story. So, we'll talk about the music, absolutely. But, I want to know, again, the whole idea behind the mental health stuff, what influences you, what drives you, who you are as people. I mean, are you nerds? Are you, comic book fans? I mean, that's what I want to kind of get into. And that's what we're going to kind of dive into tonight, because I want to know who you guys are as people, because that's what matters to me. And that's what matters to my fans, because, again, my fans come in here for mental health, awareness, and to laugh and have a good time. So, I'm not a promotional show. Never have been, never will be. I'm a shit talker, comedian, and a music lover. That's what I do. And I suffer from bipolar disorder, so I have to, try to keep it lighthearted at all times. Otherwise, I will drive myself insane.
I can take you from the music aspect of it, and then Rob's definitely I think more the nerd. No, I mean, we're both nerds, but he's got a big. I know he's better factually. He's got more detail in his Star Trek fan, Lord of the Rings fandom. We're both big Lord of the Rings guys, but
I'm Star Wars and Marvel. That's what I've always been.
Nice.
Yeah, we like Star Wars too, I'd say.
Yeah, it's kind of like I can't stop watching the movies, even though I'm like trying to tell myself not to keep watching, but I'm like, I'm like they announced the new Obi-Wan show, and I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna happen.
And plus, Mandalorian is some of the best TV I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
However,
I have to agree.
Right now, WandaVision's giving it a run for its money.
Yeah, I haven't really watched that. I've heard good things though.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's all I've heard is just great things about it, but I haven't watched it yet.
I've
been enjoying it.
Especially someone like me that's read the comic books and has been around. I've read them all. I mean, and especially with Star Wars too, just start seeing some of the stuff becoming canon now and showing up in comics and stuff like that. I mean, like, just all this different stuff. It's so freaking amazing to be a nerd right now these days. I mean, just to see this stuff come to life is absolutely amazing. Doesn't matter if it's Star Wars or Marvel or DC. If you're a fan of anything these days that's nerd related, you can find it and have some fun with it.
Yeah, nerds are definitely taking over.
Hell yeah.
It's our time now.
Absolutely it is. But no, back to the music stuff. One of the other things that again, like I said, like drugs and alcohol abuse and stuff like that, but also for some of the bigger bands that are constantly touring, that tour grind is another thing that really hits hard and can drive you batshit insane. One of my favorite bands, which is a fellow state mate of you guys, Cohedon Cambria, released the album Unheavenly Creatures back in 2019, I can't remember. But they released a song on there called Pavilion, the Long Way Home. And in there's a lyric that just really hits home for anyone that's ever been on the road and kind of gives you an idea of how good it is, or how bad it is sometimes, and how much it can drive you batshit and crazy. And he says, where did it go? Hold on. The glistening concrete, the heat of the road, the clamoring hands, and the bus you call home, is this it? Believe what you want in this space, I don't fit. The same day repeats with the things that you see, dirty dressing room carpets and broken TVs, is this it? In this water I'll tread till the day that I'm dead. That is a really, really hard, lyric to, sit there thinking, that you're just stuck in the same loop over and over and over again. Bus, concert, sleep. Bus, concert, sleep. And that can drive you absolutely insane too. I mean, this, song was actually him telling his bandmates that he was going to quit the band. But his wife was like, no, you can do this. We can persevere. And they're out there doing their thing still. And, some of the best stuff they've ever done, but it's a lot more taxing than people realize. You know, even just being an indie local band. I mean, it's the grind and the, you know, I just hope 100 people show up tonight. I just hope 50 people show up tonight. You know, I don't care about making money. I just want to be able to play, you know, Little Miss music for this. And then you get one criticism, or, you know, the sound mixer guy at the local pizza shop that you're playing at, you know, sucks, and, you know, you don't sound great. And, you know, there's just so much things that, and then once you get to a certain level, then it's like, okay, so now I'm on Spotify. Shit, we only got 100 streams this month. Okay, what are we doing wrong? And it's just, there's so much that, and people just think it's, you know, grand to be a, you know, a comic or an actor or an actress or a musician or whatever, but there's so much behind the scenes that people just don't see. And I think bringing it to the forefront like you guys are and the other bands that I've mentioned is definitely a positive thing.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we've both been playing music since we were like 15. You know, we're both 30 now. So we've played shows to nobody. We've played shows to, you know, 50 plus people. We've played shows to like just our parents. So yeah, like going through all that, especially when you have a bad show and getting that feedback, it may be glamorous on the stage, you know, or from the people watching you. But, you know, when you hear that one guy say, oh, that drummer, you know, that he wasn't very good, you know, it definitely affects you. And, you know, people kind of don't really see that when they're just watching you play on stage, like, oh, you're just playing in a garage band and you're just having fun, which we are. But yeah, you know, we take it seriously. And, you know, when we hear criticism, you know, it affects us, but it also, I guess that's what also drives us too, kind of going back to what you were saying earlier. You know, hearing any sort of criticism, you know, I've heard it. I'm sure Tom has heard it. I'm sure Matt and Mark have definitely heard it. You know, we've all heard it. And I think that just kind of makes us want to move forward and make, you know, better music and work harder.
You know, for coming from the, you know, personal level of what the band is really about, it, you know, there's basically I was at a point where I was so this is 2017, 2018, where I found myself so disgusted with where I was in music, and felt like, you know, I wasn't making progress. And like you said, like even being in a DIY indie band can be a real struggle at times. And you know, I decided to learn a new instrument, picked up guitar, and I had a great guitar teacher. His name was Lee Raines, and he passed away shortly after I started working with him. And it was a game changer for me as far as like how I looked at things. And I realized that I already had the opportunity in front of me to do what I wanted to do in music. And there was nobody stopping me from taking those steps that I needed to take. And you know, it's, you know, you just start putting one foot in front of the other, and week by week, month by month, things get a little better. You just keep your head up. And I think, you know, for me, I found a lot of purpose in that event, but I kind of realized in the same process that I was all I needed all along, as far as just the biggest thing that I try to tell people now, since the process of the band started 2 years ago, and we launched our band last year, and here we are now. And the biggest thing I try to tell other musicians is that if you're starting something, great. Make sure you know how you feel about it, and you trust yourself how you feel. And that's really the only thing that matters. You got to love what you're doing, love yourself the best you can, and know what you're getting out of it. Be okay with what you're getting out of it, and take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. That's really all we've tried to do since we've started, is just enjoy it as much as possible. Just take it all for granted, and just really, I don't know, don't take it, don't, you know, not try to not take anything for granted, but, you know, enjoy every day that you have, every person that you see in your day, and just make the most of life, and as best you can. And I think if you have that motto and that attitude, be okay with failure. It's, you know, if you're a musician, you are a person running towards failure. You know, it's how you react to failure. As what was that famous Sylvester Stallone's quote so accurately describes in a movie? He's like, "It's not how you get back, Sid. It's not." It's like, It's not what you do. It's not what you do when you're up. It's what you do when you're getting back. I don't know. I got
Something like that. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's what winning is. But seriously,
Was that Rocky V?
I think it's one of the more recent.
One of them, yeah.
It's like the good acting moment in one of the more recent meaningless Rocky films. We're like, oh shit, that was actually like, that was a really cool part there. But yeah, I mean, I think it applies. You know, just keep getting back up, keep know who you are, and you don't need you don't need somebody's gonna. People are always gonna throw shit at you. So know who you are, know what you're about, be okay with both results, good and bad. At the end of the day, keep moving, be stronger, then be the strongest opinion of yourself, and make sure you just keep the train going.
I 100% agree with everything you just said. And now I feel bad too, because when you first started talking about wanting to learn how to play guitar and, changing it up a little bit, I first immediately thought of a joke, and then you told me your guitar teacher died, and then I felt bad. The joke was, I mean, how hard could it be to learn how to play punk music? It's only the same 3 chords over and over and over again, but, I wasn't going to make that joke, so I won't say it, even though I just did.
Pop punk definitely has its benefits. So.
Yes, it does. So that's why. Yes, absolutely. I was just absolutely joking. But that is something that is hard. So you've said you've lost a lot in life. We've lost friends, and you've lost your guitar teacher and stuff like that. To continue to persevere, is sometimes tough. But we're always our biggest critic, but at the same time, we need to also be our number one fan. And that's exactly how I feel. Because in a situation like that, I was actually in recently, a week ago, in a very, very similar situation. So, last Monday, I released an episode. And it was the first time I've ever done an episode like this, and I do not regret it. Because it worked out exactly the way I wanted it to, but it was difficult to get to that point. Where it wasn't just an interview, it wasn't just a conversation about music or mental health or about anything else. It was more of a debate type episode, where I brought on somebody who is very high profile in a certain world that I do not believe in, called the Flat Earth world. And those people are passionate. Very, very passionate, but they're also very, very mean. And the things that I said during that episode pissed off a lot of the flat earthers. So I'm like the most hated person in the flat earth community right now, but that's fine. That's cool. But the things that they came onto my channel and were saying, obviously they didn't know who I was. Obviously they've never listened to any of my other 200 episodes, but, using words like, they used the word retard constantly. They used, dumbass, fat ass. They called me anything underneath the sun. Let me just tell you, my held for review comments on YouTube were longer than the actual ones that were approved and immediately went up. I mean, it was that vile, some of the stuff that they were saying. Now, I knew this was going to happen because I knew what I was saying was going to piss a lot of people off. At least in their world. I don't care about, I didn't care what they were thinking, but I wanted to, kind of prove a point that, they're sitting there saying that, you try to prove us wrong, and we'll listen to you, and we'll have a, nice conversation back and forth. But the moment you disagree with anything they say, they immediately snap at you and, try to make it, seem worthless. And that was the point I was trying to make, and I think I made that point pretty clear, without even basically saying anything. But at the same time, even though I knew this was going to happen, and I was prepared for it, and I wanted it to happen, seeing those comments come in was hard to watch, because again, up until that point, all my content was either, comedy entertainment based or mental health based. But even my comedy and entertainment, based stuff with the music and everything else like that was centered around mental health, at least a little bit in every single episode. And that's what I've always tried to do. The name of the show is based on mental health. Whether some people want to believe that or not, as a child growing up in the 90s with mental health issues, I was always told to suck it up. So my response to them was always suck it, because you don't know what I'm going through. Don't tell me to just to suck it up. So that's where the name Suck It comes from. But to sit there and see over 700 comments of just hate-filled propaganda got heavy. And I eventually turned off the comments. I've turned them back on because I've vented my frustration. But it's like, I don't care what you say about me. You're coming after my audience of 50,000 plus people a day that listen to my podcast. Yeah, granted, they don't come to my YouTube channel very often, which is fine. I don't care about my YouTube channel because I don't offer anything visually stunning for them to watch on YouTube, so they can just listen in the car. 50,000 people, that's cool. But when you say they are saying stuff like that about me and my channel, and all the hundreds of emails that I've gotten from suicide survivors or people that have decided to talk to somebody or whatever the case might be, that's what I was really caring about. And it weighed on me heavily. And it's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. And it doesn't matter what kind, if you're a musician, it doesn't matter if you're any type of content creator, if you're a director of a movie, commercial of, for doing TV or whatever, or just a YouTube creator, whatever, or a Twitch gamer, be proud of who you are. I don't care if you get 1 view and a bunch of downvotes or 1 million views and 1 million upvotes. Be proud of who you are. You went out there and you did everything you possibly could. You put out the best thing that you could possibly do, whether it sucked or not. Doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It matters what you think. And if you're happy you did it and you're proud of what you put out there, and then even grew the balls big enough to even put it out there in this world where you're going to get hate regardless of anything else, that in itself is an accomplishment. And you need to take everything, and you need to take those wins and say, I just put it out there. I don't care what reaction I get. I'm just proud of putting something out there. That's what matters.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Tom. You had something to say.
I was just saying I completely enjoyed it, everything you said, and just about just goes back to believing in yourself, and those comments that for me I use things that people have just personally said to me and said to my face in my life, and obviously I wouldn't say any names on here, but I've had people tell me I could never start a band on my own. I could never learn guitar at my age and do it just getting thinking about things that people I don't think people realize the weight that words can carry depending on who receives them. And it's just some people, especially on the internet, geez, I mean, oh god, I remember in my last band, somebody commented something like, "Oh, this is fucking terrible," just so you know. And I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah, that was one of the comments too. Was worst podcast, worst host ever. I was like, wow.
Have you seen every podcast ever? Like
apparently, I mean, there's about 1 million of them out there. But and my response, I didn't really say this, but my response in my head is, my show's only been live for a little over a year now. I'm getting ready to come up on a year, and I've already garnered almost 9 million downloads on my podcast. Not many podcasters can say that. So thanks for the motivation to even do better tomorrow, and then do better the next day, and then do better the next day. Because I don't care what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
And I released a reaction video today because I was like, I need to come out and basically tell them what I was doing. Because at the same time, like I said, I wanted all that hate. I wanted all of it. And they just fell right into that trap. And I came out with a video today that told them exactly what I was doing. And, they still are hating on it. It's like, dude, you guys are doing it again. What is wrong with you? I just came out and told you straight up, I wanted you to hate me because it only helps the algorithm, and I wanted you to also prove a point that you guys are just as bad as anybody else in this world. So what does it matter? You know,
exactly.
oh god, it was so much fun. Seeing the hate roll in is just it brings a smile to my face.
I feel like it can be looked at as like a success level almost if you get a certain amount of hate. Because it means you're reaching enough people and they're actually giving it a try, and enough people are giving what you're doing a try to hate it. So I think it's always a good sign that you can look at it positively.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, that goes with anything, you know. I mean, if people are coming to your Spotify page to download or to just stream something, regardless of whether they hate it or not, you just got to stream on fucking Spotify. You know, and you know now if they also gave it whether they downvoted it, upvoted it or whatever, now that algorithm's set to where they know that you listen to that type of music, and now you're gonna your playlist is gonna have that more of that pop punk sound or anybody else, you know, coming up on there, and now you're gonna get more of that type of stuff and more stuff for you to hate, and it's just gonna mess with your stuff as much as anybody else's. So I mean, it whether people want to realize it or not, if they're coming to your channel, your Spotify page, your Apple Music page, whatever, just to hate on something, all it does is make me bigger, or make you bigger, or make them bigger, or whatever. It's all it really does. Ronnie Radke of Falling in Reverse came out with a song a few years back called Losing My Life, and it was a song about, you know, him going to jail and what he was going to tell his daughter when she grew up and stuff like that. And in that song, he wrote a line about, it was something to the effect of, oh, everything I did was planned to get you to listen, to get your attention. You post an opinion and it gets me bigger. Are you triggered? You know, and, you know, here's the kicker. Every little, you know, Twitter little bitch, you know, that posts an opinion, all it does is make me, you know, look bigger in the eyes of everything else. And it's true. You know, I mean, you know, again, there's going to be haters out there, but those haters only make you better.
Yeah. Yeah. It puts more attention on yourself too, you know, like look at some of, just the first example that came in my head, not music related, but Jake Paul, that YouTube guy who's doing all the boxing events and stuff, like he's still hated, but he's getting a lot of attention, a lot of publicity. So like people are drawn to him in some, in some way, whether it be hate or positivity, you know, you're getting your attention regardless. So yeah, I would say, you know, bring on the hate. You're just bringing more attention to us if, you know, if anyone is really hating on us hard.
Yeah. And regardless of the hate, if you're proud of what you've accomplished, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because amongst all the hate, again, people are going to find you, and, you know, people are going to end up liking you, you know, but at the same time, you can also take, you know, opinions from it and go back and say, yeah, I could have done this a little bit better. Or, you know, maybe I can do this a little bit differently, or whatever the case might be. Or sometimes you just go back and look at it and go, no, this is perfect the way it was. But you know what? I'm going to add something more, you know, to make it a little bit better next time. You know, I could have not done anything better with this, but next one I can do this and make it a little bit better. And then, you know, you can always learn from the hate, but at the same time, never let the hate get you down, because it's just gonna deter you from doing what you were meant to do. And that's just the thing too. If you wake up every morning, regardless of whether or not you suck at something, you know, again, it doesn't matter what I think or you think or what anybody else thinks. It matters what that person that's thinking this thinks. If they wake up every morning and they're thinking about this dream, they go to bed every night thinking about this dream, they eat breakfast, eat dinner, eat lunch, drive to work every day, dreaming about this dream, then that's what they're meant to do, regardless of anything else. And if you can just do it one time, that's all that matters. You know, accomplish that goal in life. That's what life is. That's the quote unquote the mysterious meaning of life. Live your best fucking life. That is it. There's nothing to hide there. You know, live your best life. I don't care what it is. Just do it. You know, because at the end of the day, it matters what your happiness is. Because, you know, nobody else in this world, and again, this is something I've said 1,010,000 times on the show, nobody in this world controls your level of happiness other than you. You're the only person in this world that controls your happiness. Your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, your brother, your mom, your dad, your best friend have no right being in your happiness bubble. Can they enhance your happiness bubble? Absolutely. Can they deflate it a little bit? Absolutely. But before they can even inflate it or deflate it, there has to be a happiness bubble. And you're the only person that can create that happiness.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I totally couldn't agree more. Like playing drums years ago, I kind of quit on it a little bit, and then Tom came around and he's like, let's do this. And I have to say, I haven't been this happy in a while, just playing music, and I like you said, I realized, I'm just doing it for myself, really. I don't care what other people think. If, some guy at a bar is like, oh, this drummer wasn't that good or whatever, like, who cares? Like, I don't know who that guy is. So yeah, again, just do it for yourself. And like you said, your happy bubble is really, that's the most important thing right now.
I think there's a level of accountability that comes into mind when setting goals, and you're trying, especially when you're trying to recover from a loss in life, and make yourself accountable for what you want to do, and don't include anyone else but yourself, and hold yourself accountable. So erase the possibility of blaming someone else for something that you don't get done in the future. Find a way to think about it where it's just you, and you are going to be responsible for that goal. And it's obviously a lot of goals in life are team goals, but for Card Reader, it was that's all it was at first. It was just it was myself, and I knew I wanted to do something I'd never done before, and in my whole life I'd been a vocalist in a band, or originally I was a drummer, but I had this vision of starting my own band and doing it with the principles of that things that I believed in. And I just said enough is enough. One day I was done sitting around, and I was going to do everything myself, and I didn't care how long it took, how hard it was going to be. And another thing that was important is that I was okay with failure. And I think that I said, okay, this isn't going to be, this probably, I was imagining it like, maybe this won't be as good as my previous projects. I won't be working with a team of people, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to do it regardless. And I'm going to be proud of it. And, next thing I knew, I was surrounded by, Rob and Mark and Matt. Mark and Matt are the two guys not here in the interview today, but, the right pieces fell into place once I started having the right attitude about myself. And I feel like it was almost like I don't, I'm not a very, I'm not a huge religious person, but that kind of, when you start thinking about things and acting positively and just keep moving forward like that, I for some reason the universe speaks to you, and I do believe everything happens for a reason. And I felt like once I started moving things into place and not worrying about what other people's influences were, I started worrying about how can I make this happen? What can I do to do that? How long is it going to take me? When do I need to start? How many guitar lessons do I have to take this month? I'm still taking guitar lessons, but how much time do I have to spend each day practicing to get to where I want to be? How much time do I have to spend, scheduling things, booking things? And next thing I knew, the first song we did was I tracked all the instruments on the song, and then the next song I had a drummer and a bass player, and then then we went to go record Mental Scars, and we had a 4-piece band. So I mean, it just all came together magically like that, and I think it all just started with the right mental mindset that just got into place, and going into mental health and Card Reader and Mental Scars, as you said in the beginning, it's 3 songs, and the first song is where I'm at, right? It's from a writing perspective, and anyone who enjoys the EP, I think, would be a little interested in this, just for me, if you ever wondered about the meaning of the songs. Mental Scars, the song itself, is about where I'm at currently. And then I dig into the past, a little deeper into the next song, where it's kind of a happy song, and it goes into a little bit of a sad twist towards the end. So, and then the third song, if you listen to the whole EP, you're going to hear a really sad song after that. So for me, songwriting's not about, it's the story of the songs is not about where it takes you. It's about respecting the past, learning from it, and looking it in the face. And I think it gives me an opportunity as a songwriter. I do love, I love writing sad songs, and I try to take everything from a real place, that every sad emotion that you hear in a Carpenter song. But I want people to listen to those songs and maybe think about something that they went through, and also when they listen to a song like Mental Scars, they feel, yeah, this kind of reminds me of something I got through and something I rose above. So I just wanted that full scope to be there, because not every song sounds the same, and that's kind of one thing we want to continue, is just not having every single song be like a pop punk jam, summer jam, but also have some real vibes headed, some real thought-provoking moods set with our music.
Yeah, I mean, you can listen to a Poppy song 100,000 times, but you have a song that you can relate to. I feel like it definitely hits harder, listening to that one time instead of
Yeah, and speaking from somebody that does suffer from mental illness, when I find a song like that, and to relate to it, does something else for me. Back in 2018, November 2nd, I'll never forget it. And again, this is another story I've told 100 times, but that was the first time I ever tried to commit suicide, and I was going to drive off a cliff. And just as I was about to do it, the song that I mentioned earlier by Bad Flower, Ghost, came on, and that's an anti-suicide song, and it was right at the right time. And I'm not a religious person either, but I do believe in something. I just don't know what it is. So no Bible or anything else is going to tell me what it is, but something's there. And I believe whatever it was that day put Josh and his band in front of me, and I was like, shit. But then a year goes by, and then Popular Monster comes out by, again, Falling in Reverse. And then there's a lyric in there that says that he crashed his car just to feel again. And I was like, damn, that, boom, relates right back to it, because that's exactly what I was trying to do. And whenever I'm having my down days, I go straight to songs that reflect my past. Stuff that makes me sad, stuff that makes me rethink my whole life, and so on and so forth. And those two songs are definitely up there, but like also, other things that can just make me say, damn, why am I sitting here in a depressed bubble right now when I should be out doing what I do best? And that's making people laugh, or booking a band on my show, or booking a comedian on my show, or whatever the case might be. Obviously, I'm doing this for a reason. Why am I sitting here curled up in a ball, crying my eyes out, watching reruns of Scrubs when I should be out doing something better with my life? But at the same time, I can do that with just music as well. But when even if I'm in my car having a manic day, hyper as shit, going a million miles a minute, and then one of those songs that comes on that really depresses me because it makes me reflect on my past, it helps me continue to move forward. It's like in that moment, okay, I'm not having a bad day. I'm having a pretty good day, but this is why you continue to move on. Whatever was being said in that song is the reason why you continue to move. So just don't forever forget that. And that is one of the biggest things I've ever seen in my life, is that connection between the human psyche and music.
Yeah.
Go to a festival, go to, a local concert, go to just a brewery up your road where a guy's just playing an acoustic set. Music transcends any culture, any color, any, religion, anything. Music is transcendent upon everything else. When you can go to a festival and see every race, every color, every creed, every religion jamming out to the exact same stuff all day long, it's beautiful. When you can go to a metal show and it's supposed to be everyone hates everybody at a metal show, but everybody loves everybody regardless of everything else, damn well you're in a place of beauty. And that's what I love about music. It's whatever you make it is what it is. But at the same time, it goes beyond that. It's a spiritual connection that just some things that you can't get from a book or from a TV show. The ear holes, vibrating with that, percussion and the rhythm and everything else in between just does something to your mind and puts a smile on your face.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. Some of the best times of my life are just like seeing my friend's band with like 5 of my other friends, and we're all just, singing, dancing, moshing, whatever the heck we're doing. And, it's just that sense of community, unlike a TV show. Yeah, you watch a TV show together, but you don't really, it doesn't hit the same, being in like a venue with like your friends are performing, and, it's guys you've known your whole life, and you're just surrounded by, literally you turn left, you turn right, somebody, everyone is with you. It's just, it's a feeling of security too. You just feel like this is where I belong, and yeah, it's just a great sense of community with music.
It's just the power of what music can do, and there are people that, it's always interesting when I find someone that doesn't really invest a lot of time into music, and that's okay too. But I feel like a lot of people who don't really, if there is someone that I come across that isn't really that into music, I feel like maybe they miss out on that potential bond. Like I actually it's funny because I always tell myself, don't, try not to meet your heroes, because a lot of my heroes have created this spiritual connection through their lyrics and music. And one example is Census Fail, Buddy Nielsen.
Okay.
And singer, and he's like a huge person in my life, and we're not even in each other's lives, but like just growing up and being, when I was a teenager suffering from depression, I was, and I feel looking back on it, I didn't realize how much I was suffering from depression in those days. And listening to his music and his words were like it was very, very, very much of an impact, and just changed my life and the course it was on. And it's still to this day, huge influence. And I'm always like, don't ever meet this person. Keep that positive musical message and that bond you have with his music alive. But not that it can't go right when you meet someone, but at the same time, like, they say don't meet your heroes, and I've always thought about that and how huge that music meant to me when I was young, and what it did for me.
Yeah, it almost humanizes them. You don't want them to be humanized to
Yeah.
You want them to have that aura, that like, ghostly aura.
Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, when you're watching a band up on stage singing a song that connects with you, and watch them still have an emotional connection to that song, even though they probably sung it up on stage 110 times, 1,000 times, 5,000 times, whatever, but you still see that emotional connection. That what they're singing about is real. One of the biggest examples of that is most recently was last week at the Super Bowl, when Miley Cyrus did her, set, and she was singing Wrecking Ball. How many times has she sung that song live? But she still cries every time she sings that song. And because it still has such an emotional weight on her. Or when the times that I've seen Nothing More play, granted, Johnny Hawkins' sister, the song that Jenny's written about, she's alive and doing well, and she's out of recovery, and she's, doing better. He still gets emotional, and that song's been around 10 years now. And, he still gets emotional singing that song, and to see that come out is, does something different for me, so it's like, yeah, don't ever meet your heroes, but at the same time, it's nice to see that. It is nice to see that human side, especially when it's something like that. Especially for somebody that, that I'm just now becoming a fan of, which is Miley Cyrus, because she's definitely kind of taken a rock turn and transforming her sound into a rock sound, which fantastic. Please bring it, because I've absolutely fallen in love with her. But to see that human side of her is amazing, and to see that human side of anybody. Every time I see James Hetfield of Metallica go into rehab, as much as it sucks to see him still struggling with that after all these years, it's nice to know that he's still human. Yeah. It's nice to know that he still feels and he still struggles just like we do. That band has been around since I was born. And to know that there's still, struggle like that is nice to know. It sucks to know, but at the same time, it's nice to know. So I agree with what you're saying. At the same time, it's like seeing that human side. Now, there's some people out there that are straight up dicks that you've heard about, and you're like, I don't want to meet that guy, but I'll continue to listen to his music. Those are a little bit different. But at the same time, to know that there's still a human side to them sometimes, and just to be able to see that up on stage or in a music video or whatever is really, really nice.
Yeah. I think that's the reason a lot of people, like myself, listen to podcasts. You want to get that humanizing side of them. Celebrities, whether be comedians or musicians. Yeah, it kind of it's good to see, I guess. Yeah, to see them, they're just like me or you, whether it be Hetfield or whoever.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, it's something that 1 in 3 people suffer from in this country. Some type of form of mental illness, whether it just be generalized anxiety disorder or depression, whatever, minor depression, 1 in 3 people suffer from that in this country. And especially over the last year, suicide rates are at an all-time high. They haven't released the numbers yet, and they won't for a while, but suicide rates are at an all-time high. Divorce rates are at an all-time high. And that all contributes to the person, and their psyche. And it's hard to watch. My marriage didn't last COVID, and, we separated back in November. And it sucks. But at the same time, it's, when the down stuff happens, again, how you get back up, like you said earlier, is what matters the most. And seeing the people suffer in this country right now is such a motivating factor to continue to drive on. For me, and I know it's a continuing factor for you guys, music and laughter are what keeps people sane. And we have to sometimes suck up our own feelings, even though I hate that expression, when you're on the other side of the table in order to help somebody else. Because in the end of the day, when you're helping somebody else, it's going to end up helping you too. And that's my biggest, driver. When I wake up in the morning and I know I'm having a depressed day, when I put on these headphones at 8:00 at night and, get ready to do a live show, or if I do a pre-recorded show earlier in the day, I know I have to put on a brave face. I know I have to come on here and try to show, hey, I'm having a bad day, but I'm here doing what I need to do because it helps you. It helps me. And then to know that I'm helping you helps me too. So it's all about the drive and the motivation behind it. And if we're helping people, that's what matters the most.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what are you guys' plans for this year?
So basically we, and this goes into the mindset that we have. We pretty much just keep making plans. We were kind of just like, we're just going to keep doing things. Basically, we're going to start off with a new music video. We're right now we're working on a new music video for one of our songs off of the Mental Scars EP called Smiling Ghost. Then we're going to, next month on the 26th of March, we're going to drop our first acoustic EP, which is going to be a couple songs that we've already put out in acoustic format. And our bass player, Matt, is engineering that. And we're really excited to put that out. And then in April, we're going to record a new record. And we're going to do the follow-up to Mental Scars. We're thinking like 5 or 6 songs. And we're basically, we're buckling down right now, writing that record. and also doing the other things. And after that, I mean, we're pretty much, like any other band, it's with the future, you want to play shows, right? So we're kind of just waiting for, like everyone else is kind of just waiting for when's it going to be safe for bands to start in our local scene in New York. That's where we're going to start.
Yep.
We're going to start playing shows in Long Island, and then we're going to move outward, hopefully into the Northeast not too long after that, play as many shows, do weekenders, whatever we got to do to get out there and play shows. We all work jobs and whatnot. So what we're going to do is we do have one planned show at the moment, which is great because it feels great having plans for a show. It's a planned show because it's going to be streamed. And it's in the fall around September. We believe, we haven't gotten the date yet, but we as a result of winning the Interstate Music Awards, represent. We're going to go ahead and they're going to fly us out to Wisconsin, to their headquarters, and they're going to film us playing a live show for them in the fall, and possibly sooner. We don't know yet, but we might go out there a couple times this year to play. So we're kind of just like I said before, we're just going to see what opportunities lie ahead as far as the shows go, and we're never going to stop making music. That's one thing I'd like anyone that likes our band to know, is that we're going to be around for a long time. This is a long-term process. This is not a band that is going to stop once nobody likes them, or they fail at something, or they put out a shitty record. This is here to stay. So I just want to let everyone out there know that we're not going anywhere. We're Card Reader from Long Island, New York, and we're proud of that. So we'll see you soon, and hopefully we'll be sharing the stage any other musicians that we come across, and just spreading the love, man. Other than that, we're like I said, we're going to keep our plans going. Like once we're done with making that EP, we're going to set some plans. We're going to address the next chapter of music, and when shows start, shows will start, and just try to stay as active as possible.
Good. And that's what I like to hear, because I'm the same way right now. As a stand-up, getting up and doing stuff in front of crowds is what we do best. And it's a release, I mean, I cannot be depressed. I cannot have a bipolar day when I'm up on stage. It's I don't care if they're booing me or not, or I get those comments. I prefer the comments. The more cringy the joke, and the more damn it, Derek, what's wrong with you type reactions to get, the better. So thank you very much for that. But anyway, the whole idea of just getting out there again is exciting, and I'm sure you guys just can't wait for it. Just like every other band in this fucking country right now can't wait for it. Unless you live in Florida, because you're doing it right now and super spreading everything, but we won't go there. But again, you have to, when you're up on stage and when you're playing shows, it's not just for you, it's for the fans. And again, that's what we do this for. Because we know, regardless of at the end of the day, we're helping people, and they're there for a certain reason. And if they can connect with you because of mental scars, that's awesome. Because the message that you guys are putting out there into the world right now is fantastic. And I can't, express my gratitude enough for the things that you guys are doing. When I first heard the song Mental Scars by itself, I had it listed on repeat like 3 or 4 times. It hit me on a level, and then the second song, did the same thing. And then that third song, I got halfway through, I had to turn it off the first time because that was heavy. It gets heavy. And then, but then I didn't make it through, but the actual song itself, Mental Scars, it's your typical pop punk sound, and I don't mean it like it sounds like everything else. It has that same that upbeat sound. It's very poppy, it's very punky. It's a little bit of everything. Doesn't sound like anything else, but at the same time, it has that stereotypical upbeat sound to it. But the words tell a whole other story, and I love that. Because if it's a difficult message to go to put out there, something that's heavy, but you could put it out there in a lighthearted way and have people kind of dance around going, holy shit, this is deep, you know. But at the same time, if they're depressed, they're not going to listen to it already because it might just bring them down even more. But the way you guys portrayed that song just hit me on another level, and I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you for listening to it, giving it a chance, and I'm glad it got across to you, and that's all you could hope for when you're writing a song, is that someone will actually listen to it and then actually kind of touch base on what you're thinking when you're writing that song. And that was a song, especially for me, that I was like sitting, in a room just trying to find out how to rewriting and rewrite. There are sometimes I'll sit and rewrite a song like 40 times, and I think about the words a lot and think about how, people will feel. But I think it's important, as long as it's real, it's fine. Don't fabricate it. Just put yourself out there. And there's no more truth to the kind of personality that I have, or the kind of emotion that I have, than through my music. So I always feel like I'm my true self when I sing and when I'm talking into the mic, and or just making notes with my voice. I feel like I'm talking for the first time all day, and it's something I need in my life, and something that, when I'm talking to myself. I'm trying to motivate myself. The chorus is, I want to know what the sun looks like again. It's because I felt like I wasn't going to see the sun again. So that's immediately where the chorus is it's, when you hear it, it's nice and fun. But if you think about it, if you just read it on paper, you're going through that. You're gonna feel that, and I'm glad you felt it, man. I'm really glad you were able to touch on it. And obviously the next couple of songs are a little bit more impactful, a little bit more heavy, but that song, every song should have a little bit of heart that you can touch, like as far as that you can relate to. And that's that bond in music, man. That's why we do it. That's where the passion comes from.
Yeah. And something that you just were saying, made me think of something too. And I've noticed this before, but I've never said it out loud. When it comes again to music, I was saying earlier, it transcends, the human psyche. Look at people with Tourette syndrome, or the people that stutter, or the very little verbal autistic spectrum people. When they get up on stage or want to play music, they seem their illness doesn't matter. You can't tell somebody has Tourette's. You can't tell somebody's autistic. You can't tell somebody stutters, or whatever the case might be, when they're up on that stage and they're singing that song. And again, it transcends everything else, because they're doing it for themselves, but at the same time you're reaching out to people that suffer from the same things that you do, or that enjoy the same things you do, or whatever the case might be. And now you're doing it despite everything else going on in your life. And that, again, is beautiful. And everything you just said is exactly right. And, music is beautiful, regardless of, what the whole point is. If it touches you on a level that, makes you smile, then it's doing the right thing. And I know that, I know this EP did that for me. And I hope it does it for other people as well, man, because you guys are just fucking badass. And you guys, the moment you guys come down to the DMV area, I'll be one of the first people in line to, in the front row. Or if I'm ever up in New York, I'll be there too. But you guys are just amazing, and I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for that compliment. That's the best compliment I feel like we can get as musicians. If our songs hit someone in like an emotional way. Especially with Tom's lyrics, like if someone can feel something from that, that's the best compliment I can get as a musician.
It's my pleasure.
It's really a great, opportunity for us to be here talking to you, and I really feel like you kind of, I don't know how it works, and how you accepted, us coming onto the show, but it really feels like you gave us, a platform to let people know. There's probably people who listen to us that don't think much about it. Maybe they just enjoy the music, but there is a deeper side to it. And being on the show is allows us to talk about it, and allows people who like the music to think again about what they're listening to. If they don't understand it already, they'll take a second listen now, and they'll see where some of this stuff is coming from, see that it's real, that we're not just making music, we're doing it because we feel the need to, because it matters. It matters to do something that you love. It matters to do what you're passionate about. And just like I get a strong feeling that when you do your radio show and you talk to people every day or however
Every day.
Every day. I feel like that's like a huge driver, motivator for you. That's just the vibe I get as far I feel like if I were in your shoes, then I would be so excited to get on the mic every day. And you have such a great charisma, and you have the willingness to talk about these things, and I can only really talk about it through music. I have such a hard time talking in real life about it. I can't talk about it like with if I go into my workplace, I can't have these conversations. If I want to seem cool, I don't want to, or you start talking about this type of stuff, and some people are bold enough to think that you're weak or something because you want to have this kind of conversation, which is completely ridiculous. But that's kind of the cultural change that I think needs to happen in society with, especially men, that we need to start becoming a little bit more open to our emotions and know that it's okay to talk about your feelings and express how you feel, and don't, it's okay to cry. It's the reality that we live in, and it's our opportunity as a generation to change those things that are built into our like minds and hearts growing up, that maybe it's not okay to express yourself, maybe it's not okay to cry, or maybe it's not okay to fail, which is completely ridiculous. And if those are some of the biggest, most important things that happen to you in life is failure. And I know if I didn't fail massively, over the last 10 years doing music, I wouldn't have ever had the opportunity to be sitting here tonight talking to you, and we randomly we entered this competition as our bass player Matt randomly entered us, and we didn't really know if we had a chance to win it, but all of a sudden our name got called, and here we are. And you just got to take everything you get, and take what you can get, and enjoy it as much as you can, because you never know when you can't take life for granted. That's pretty much it, man.
You guys deserve that win too. You guys are just, like I said, amazing. So again, I just want to say thank you for being here. You guys are just amazing, and I can't express enough the gratitude that I have for putting out such a song. And thank you very much again for the compliments too. So on that note, I'm going to close out this episode with, how I told you I get hate. I'm one of the most hated people in the flat earth community. Okay. Would you like to know the comments that we got tonight on our live stream?
All right.
While we were live tonight.
Sure.
COVID Carl says, "Lose some weight, Tubby." Or Jenny Craig. Derek is the only thing that sucks. Suck a podcast. If I were you, I would be depressed too. Derek, haven't you ever heard of Slim Fast? Lose weight, fatso. Derek, why are you so stupid? or lastly, Derek has mental health issues for sure. He thinks we live on a spinning ball.
Wow. This is very specifically from that community.
But again, here's the thing. Are they watching they have to watch the episode and then actually comment. So all it does is make it a bigger video. So thank you.
I don't know. It's like, what other, do you guys like? What shows do you guys like over there in that community? Is there anything else besides?
I don't even know.
Is there any other conspiracies or debates that you'd like to get into? I'm a big Bigfoot guy. Do you guys believe in Bigfoot? Let's talk about that. Let's have a conversation about whether or not the Bermuda Triangle is real. I'm down. Let's get into it. But whatever. It's not. Are you an astronaut? I mean, unless you're an astronaut,
They don't believe in astronauts. They never went to space.
Oh wow.
Space doesn't exist in their world.
Oh, that's something I did not know.
Oh, dude, it's so deep. It's not even funny.
That is something I did not know. All right. Well, I you can guarantee that the Russians sent something to space if you don't believe the Americans did. So that's all I'll say.
But see, that is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. And if I don't put on a brave face, that's all that matters. I don't care.
Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna start calling them out because it's so pathetic. It's so funny, but whatever.
It just seems like a great opportunity. Honestly, it's like a comedy show in itself. Just that
God.
one specific community saying things like, and it's always all this based on the comments you just read. It's like, oh, it's always says something. Oh, he's round earthers, brown man. Like what? I don't know. I can't.
My favorite though is if I was you, I would be depressed too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's that guy. He's shooting for threes. He's trying to hit hard. He's gonna read it. He's gonna read it and laugh it off. Yeah, at the same time.
Well, the way I look at it is if he was me, then he would have a chemical imbalance and be bipolar too. So either way, he's right. I mean,
so it's just who knows. Man. What I like to think is everyone's going through something. I'm sure that guy
absolutely
might be going through something that wrote that. And I hope he's doing okay, or he or she, whoever it is, and just keep fighting the good fight, buddy.
Exactly.
Love.
I love you, man. It's okay. What's his name? Hold on. Big Mac Attack.
Sweet.
Big Mac Attack. I love you. Thank you. I hope that you're doing okay. And if you're here, if you need to, I'm available for free hugs. I will drive to you and give you a hug, buddy. It's okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love everybody.
That's incredible.
But again, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys coming on the show, and we had a great time tonight. I know definitely I did too.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
I really appreciate it, man.
No problem, guys. Stay safe with the new winter storm that's coming this week. It's hitting us on Thursday, so be careful out there, and just take care.
Thanks. You too.
And for everybody else, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you very much for being here. Even the Flat Earthers, thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, stay happy, stay heavy, and as always, stay healthy. We'll see you guys later. Peace. Where's my outro? I lost my thing. There we go.